What it is, what it was, what it could be, guys. My name's Justice, and I'm a photographer and videographer here in Sydney. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a few photos that demonstrate why if you take photography seriously, you should be shooting in RAW over JPEG. Now I say this because of two reasons. One, you'll be able to save those poorly exposed photos that you got, those underexposed photos that we all have for who knows what reason. Maybe we're just getting the light settings right, or it was just an accident. It happens to all of us. It happens to me. I know it happens to you. If you're shooting in RAW, you're gonna be able to save those photos so much better than if you were shooting in JPEG. And reason number two is because it gives you complete creative control over the final product of the photo. Now, this isn't gonna be one of those super nerdy, in-depth videos about RAW, this, and compression, that, and yada, yada, yada. This is gonna be me showing you photos I've taken personally that I've underexposed, or a photo that I completely changed the mood in by editing in because I was shooting in RAW. Let's hop into Lightroom and take a look. All right, for this first picture here, if I go, I've made a virtual copy of all the images I've selected. So this is the before. You can see that it's clearly underexposed to her face. It's not very vibrant. Look how much I was able to save that. Look how much I was able to bring back onto her face. And guys, you should be working through Lightroom from top to bottom, essentially. This one actually dropped the exposure down a little bit, but I raised the shadows. You know, you can do a lot. You can do a lot when you're shooting in RAW. You have so much control from that to that. If I go to my second picture, so this was the original. The reason this one's so underexposed is because it was actually like the first picture that I snapped of that shoot. I was just testing the light, figuring out what my settings needed to be at. He just happened to be taking his hair out when I was doing it, and it looked really cool. I thought it was a good photo. I was like, oh, let me try to save that. This is what you can do when you're shooting in RAW, guys. Look at this before and after. Completely dark. It was just a test shot. Turns into a banger, just like that. Same thing, like bumping the exposure, bringing up those shadows. I actually brought the blacks up a lot in this, which gives it kind of a washed out look in the blacks, more of a gray, but I kind of like that style. I put an S curve on all my edits. I put it in all the channels. So again, from this to this, you know what I mean? I'll go to, this is another really great example. I actually didn't have a flash with me on this shoot. So this is the before. Shooting straight into the sun. Obviously I didn't want to completely blow out the freaking back, so I underexposed it a bit too much. You ask me, his face is more important than blasting out the highlights there, but whatever. I was able to save it because I'm shooting in RAW. Look at this, guys, before, after. You're able to, I'll pump the exposure up almost half a stop here. Bring those shadows up, the blacks, like, I'm pretty sure I put some radio filters on there and whatnot, but yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can do when you're shooting in RAW. I'll show you one. This one wasn't necessarily exposed wrong, but it was more one, like, again, shooting in RAW, you have complete creative control over the final outcome of the product. So like, this was the before. Obviously I shot with the intention of cropping, but you can see it's composed well. It's like good composition. It's pretty well lit on her face. I got the Sony A7R4, so I can zoom in hella far, and it's still super crisp. I love it. But go to the after here. Just got a text message. Go to the after here and just from this to this, from this to this, guys. Bumping the exposure, the shadows. You're gonna find that a lot of the skin tones lie in the shadows. So if you bump those shadows up, that's gonna dramatically change the, if I change this, look at how much that dramatic, especially your hair, really changes the hair. Another really good example of where I completely changed the mood of the shot. So this is my final product, right? Obviously I retouched the skin and everything and all these as well. I'm not showing you guys that, but this is the before. Like, it was exposed pretty well. If you ask me, this is properly exposed. It's like a little underexposed, but like, it's not bad for in camera, you know what I mean? And yeah, it looks all right. But you go to my final, before, the after, it's like a completely different vibe. You know what I mean? A lot of that personal touch comes down here in the split toning. I put split toning on pretty much all my photos, just trying to find a combination that looks right. I'm working on making some presets over here. Stay tuned for that. Let's look at another one. Let's look at another one. One more. This one. Ooh, banger. I like that one. Before. Just the before. After. Before. After. Like, look how much you're able to save, guys. You need to be shooting in RAW. If you want to take photography serious, you need to be shooting in RAW. You're missing out on so much if you're shooting in JPEG. There you go, guys. There is actual visual proof of why you should be shooting in RAW if you want to take photography professionally, whether that be for portraits or for landscape or whatever type of photographer you're trying to be. You should be shooting in RAW. If you liked the photos, feel free to follow me on Instagram at justice.hallbeck. I'm always dropping a photo about every other day, doing shoots all the time, out here grinding, getting it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.